Hey guys, so I thought of it like a new little series. Basically, it's things that live rent free in my head. Um, now this song in particular is mainly because I watched someone play Digimon World 1 from start to finish, and I played this game all the time when I was a teen, because I wasn't a kid when it came out. Um, but I remember spending hours, and it's a fun game if you know what you're doing. Nowadays, being a 37-year-old uh, child, it's a lot easier to play because I know certain Digimon, certain stats. Back then, when the internet was still young, Egyptian kings played a game of great and terrible power. No, no, back then the information wasn't always correct. It was harder to get certain Digimon. But we're gonna listen to this because it's about like this time it's music that lives rent free in my head. The next time it could be a video or a phrase or whatever. It's just whatever lives rent free in my head, or things that live rent free in my head. It'd be like the title. So it'd be like things that live rent free in my head. This episode Digimon World, or File Island music, or something, or File City rather. Something like that. But if you played this game, you heard it a lot. You kind of had no choice but to hear it a lot. But it's a good song, which means it's tolerable, and it's fine that they play it a lot. So I'm gonna actually turn this down for me. I don't know why it's so loud. But for those of you who've never heard it, enjoy. So that's God, so great. That's File City. Again, that's like the hub where you do everything. You've got, Digimon there. You've got your city that you start, which starts as nothing, but then the more Digimon you recruit, then suddenly there's an arena, there's a restaurant, there's a store, there's a clinic, and some Digimon will just be like, "Oh, I'm a nice guy. I'm gonna come to your city." And some of them are like, "Oh, you gotta battle me first. Oh, you beat me. I guess I'll join your city." Um, so it really depends. The Digimon Digivolutions also aren't very you know, not like the anime where it's like, oh, Agumon is always going to digivolve to Greymon. No, here, Agumon can digivolve to Greymon, Tyrannomon, um, Seadramon, so it can evolve it, digivolve into different things. In the start of the game, depending on what you answer, depends on whether you get Agumon or Gabumon. You have Digimon, he's like, are you a boy or are you a girl? Do you have a Digivice? Do you like the daytime or do you like the nighttime? I like the nightlife. I like to boogie. Wait, no, that's Professor Oak. No, but Digimon does the same thing. He's like, do you have a Digivice? Do you like day or do you like night? And then, like I said, depending, you can name them. You name yourself. You name your Digimon partner. And it's a fun game because it really makes you think of who you want and the best way to go about them. Because it's like, oh, I want Greymon, so you got to make sure your stats are a certain way. It's like, oh, your offense, defense, speed need to be this. Your weight needs to be this, and bada bing, bada boom. Time comes, you get Greymon. If you make a mistake, you might get Tyrannomon, which is like the worst of them. Um, and then from there, you make your next big step about who your ultimate wants. You want your ultimate to be. Naturally, if you have Agumon, you're gonna want Greymon and then Metal Greymon. But same thing, Metal Greymon has his own requirements. You need like 4,000 health HP and this and that. His weight has to be this. You need to do a certain amount of battles, and you meet all those requirements, you get a nice Metal Greymon. If not, you might get something different. So, and that's with every Digimon. Every Digimon you can start with has like multiple, like 4 or 5 to 6 different Digimon it can Digivolve to. They don't last very long though. you know, game time, they only last a couple days. Just the way the time flows differently in Digimon world. Because you'll be playing and not even be playing for an hour, like in your time, but then suddenly your Digimon is fading away already. It's like, well, I barely did anything with it. Some people focus so hard on the training, but training passes time, and if you're not noticing it, yeah. But there's things you can get to help. The training manual from the God of Destruction himself, Piximon. Anyone who's played the game remembers Piximon. I don't remember if he was introduced in the anime yet, though. But in the game, he's probably was one of the strongest. He's not really... They're not really strong if you know what you're doing. But, you go in, and there's certain Digimon, Piximon, Metal Mamamon, Mamamon, who else? There's other Digimon that are like that. I know it's those 3, where you go onto the screen, the next screen, and you'll see Digimon running around. So like in the forest area, you go there and there's like the mud Mojiamon. I forget their names, but they're the brown. They're Mojiamon, but they're brown. If you go onto the screen and they're not there, or the one that is always standing there isn't there, that means Piximon is there. And he's just floating around all happily, all like, oh, look at me, I'm Piximon. I'm small and nice. Yep, yep, yep. And then you talk to him, and then he wants to battle. And because you're probably, just skipping through thinking that he's going to join the city, he lets you know that he's an ultimate type Digimon, and he wants to battle. Now, despite the fact that I was, a teen, me being impatient, I think I had like Agumon or something. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, battle shouldn't be that hard. I didn't read the part where he said, I'm an ultimate level Digimon. I'm like, okay, how hard could it be? Let me just say, even with an ultimate level Digimon, you're still going to have trouble. Unless you have some really, really good stats and a lot of healing items. Like I said, he's basically a god of destruction. He will rain hell down upon you before you can blink. But he recruiting him gets you the training manual, which when you train buffs your stats a bit, so makes it easier to gain those stats, especially for those higher level, or like the ultimate or champion ultimates. But with this game, this song, especially after we beat the game, we went through it again with like cheats and all that, just to see how much easier it makes. And I don't know if it was the cheats, because even when we didn't have the cheats on, it still did this. I think we just wore the game out because we played it so much. But we would always go down to or at least try to go into the city, from Digimon's house, and we would hear. Let me just give you a very accurate description or a visual of what I'm talking about. Hang on. And that was an accurate description of what it was like 20 something years ago when this game came out. Yeah, it would just freeze on File City, and it's like, what? Looking at the controller, maybe it's not plugged in. Thinking the game froze because it would freeze, but then it's like it would just play the music, which I love the music, but I wanted to play the game too. That's why I was playing it. So, and when I was doing this, because it would be me and my brother, and usually my best friend, and we would just sit there and we'd play, and I would just be like, I don't know. Because again, I don't know. I think we just wore the game down because the same thing happened with Chrono Cross. We played it so much that eventually wore the disc down. You know, sometimes it happens. I had to buy a new copy of Chrono Cross years ago because I wanted to play it, but now because internet makes it so easy, you can just emulate, which you shouldn't do unless you have an actual copy of the game. We don't want to be people who sail the seven seas now, do we? But this game I looked currently used goes for like $129. But you should totally find a place where you can legally buy it. You can just go online and find a site where you can find it. Wink, wink. But yeah, I think I just wore the game down. So when we would play, and also, it happened with the starting screen. If it made it past the starting screen, it would let us get into the game and then kind of freeze up when we got to File Island or File City when we were trying to go down. Sometimes it wouldn't even let us get past the start game. We'd pick a file and it would just kind of freeze up. Again, I don't think it was the codes, like the game breaker or whatever we had that was called at the time. I think we just wore the game out because we really did play it all the time. Because I didn't just play it and beat it. I played it and got all the medals, all the fucking Digimon cards, every fucking Digivolution possible. So we played the game. Every Digimon possible. So it was we also, and I think maxing out the stats was one of the things you had to do, which it helps when you have like the chips, like the offense chips and stuff like that. So but yeah, I got that at medal, and so I played the game. But I actually was playing the game a couple years ago on my old computer. But then when I got this one, I just like forgot to move over the save file. So that computer now probably doesn't even work properly. It's been unplugged and turned off for so fucking long. It's been in the closet since then. So, I mean, it's not that bad. I could just start playing it again. But yeah, this song just pops into my head. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I could be on the in the bathroom on the toilet taking a fucking shit, and the song will just pop into my head. Me blowing out my ass has nothing to do with Digimon or Digimon World, but the song will just pop into my head. Or, I'm over at the country house making June, wash yourself and all that, and pops into my head. Watching a freaking 86-year-old wash herself has nothing to do with Digimon World. Pops into my head. I could be fucking sitting here beating my meat to lesbians. Has nothing to do with Digimon. Pops into my head. Just pops into my head. So this song is very much a song that lives rent-free in my mind. Because sometimes I'll wake up not feeling like P. Diddy, and a very good thing I don't wake up feeling like P. Diddy. I do have baby oil though for my, moist. I've got like really bad dry skin, so the baby oil helps a little bit, especially now where it's colder out. It's not going to just kind of melt off. So, actually, no, I think I through the summertime. Actually, I don't even have it anymore. Yeah, I think I went the last of it in the summer. It got really fucking hot. It was like 100 fucking degrees out. Um, but yeah, I wake up not feeling like P Diddy, despite having baby oil like a lot of people do for their skin. No, but God, you're fucking stupid. I know, I know. I never claimed to be anything else. Would you love me if I was anything else? I do not love you. Um, but yeah, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. And this song has been in my head since when did it come out? Like 23, 24 years. No, like this was on the original PS1, so very long ago. And it's lived in my head rent free since. Like I said, really good game, real fun game when you know what you're doing. Very bright, colorful, a lot of secrets. Oh, you wanted to get into the mansion, you need a virus type. Oh, you wanted to get into the ice sanctuary, you need a vaccine type. Oh, you want to recruit this person? Well, you better get a baby Digimon over here and get them sick on purpose. So that point they pass out and this Digimon rescues you. It's just full of little secrets. Um, the fact that each Digimon, you can get Patamon and Palmon and Biomon and Agumon and Gabumon, but the fact that they can all digivolve to like 5 different things. You get Numamon if you make care mistakes and just not care. You get Sukamon, same way. You have like Monzimon, where, if you get Numamon, you can automatically get Monzimon if you go to Toy Town. Which is really cool. Monzimon is really cool. But you also need to use him for Toy Town, which is stupid. Because in order to get through Toy Town properly, you need Monzimon. And then you have to fight Waro Monzimon. And so, because you go from champion to ultimate so easily, Monzimon's stats are crappy when he first digivolves. So if you try doing it as soon as you digivolve, you're gonna fail. 100% gonna fail. Go back and go train to your thing. Your stats are like maybe 400, 500. You come back, fucking cakewalk, and you get a good amount of money while you're there, especially from the 3 clear Agumon that are there. They give you a lot of bits, and then Factorial Town is probably with the Platinum Sukamon. You can get like 13 to 19k from those things. So when you're money grinding, that's the best place to go is Factorial Town. But yeah, this game is really, really fun. A lot of Digimon, all the Digimon you've seen from the show. Some of them, like Saber Leomon, are kind of shown, but you can't actually get them. Saber Leomon is just kind of a statue type thing in the Leomon ancestor area in the drill tunnel. But yeah. I mean, I've got so many stories of Digimon World. You guys want to hear them? I have no problems with it. Just let me know, because I'm sure you guys have your own stories. Like my Piximon story. A little fucking bastard. I mean, it's my fault for not reading the whole thing. I didn't see the part where it said, I'm an ultimate Digimon. But, mistakes happen. You learn fast from them. I mean, I managed to beat the game perfectly fine, so. But yeah, let me know what happened when you played the game. Did you 100% it like me to the point where the game just basically stopped working properly? Who did you start with the first time? I think, like I said, I found Piximon not too long after starting the game for the first time. Like, he has a very low percentage of spawning, but I remember, you get to Sealamon or Colamon or You get over there, and then, I think we were coming down. I think I headed up towards the mansion, saw that we couldn't get in because one, he was just too inexperienced and too weak, and you need a virus type to get in. So I remember I was coming back, and as I was coming back, I saw Piximon. I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, let's go talk to him because it looks like he's just, waiting for us to talk to him. And he's like, oh, hey, I'm Piximon. Yep, yep, yep. Are you want to fight? Sure. Huh. Are you gonna win? Nope, nope, nope. And then he just like, Hakai, his little fucking rainbow Hakai, the fucking rainbow spiral of death. Even Ultimate Digimon, if you're not fully prepared, this dude will annihilate you. But yeah, tell me let me know if you want to create. I mean, I could easily just mindlessly play the game and just use that as a way to talk about it or something. If you want to hear Digimon war stories. But anyway, yeah, that's gonna do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.